Hey guys, all right. I hope I am audible. So if you can confirm me, that will be very great. And then I can start as well. At least I once again. Yeah, great, great. Got it. So thank you for joining Ankur. And I again cannot pronounce him properly, Zasi. So yeah, great. So please, forgive me if I am pronouncing his name incorrectly, but that's the accent. Okay, great. So normally I have been asked, like I have been preparing a lot of reports during my article CP as well, where we were preparing monthly reports, and what used to happen was we were asked, like you can say, to distribute or to allocate the amounts. Okay, so when we had got prepaid expenses, you can say insurance expenses, like you can say security expenses, and lots and lots of maintenance expenses, you can say, where they were allocated for, like they had contract for 15 months, or you can say 12 months. Sometimes they were only for 3 months. So what was normally the problem? The expense has been made today, but we have to figure out a way so that we can allocate in our every monthly reports. So I will simply say it is not much about, you can say, good evening, sir. So I will just say it is not about, mostly you can say, uh, how can I say that? Not about the financial year only, but yeah, in our monthly reports, we also need to do that. And let's not just you can say that limit ourselves to expenses only. So what can happen is when it comes to incomes as well. So we used to audit one of the advertising company. So what they used to do is they used to had a contract for 3 months, or let's say 6 months. So whenever they wanted to, you can say, uh, properly properly allocate the income on in the monthly reports, so they have to again do the same workings. So it is not just about the expenses only, it's also about the incomes as well. So now the main thing comes is, see, I have been seeing so many people doing these calculations manually, okay, and that was just hilarious for me. And then many times, if people find out, okay, there will be templates, so they have been doing these calculations in templates as well. And there was one of the classics example I will say is, that is much more about our Indian Companies Act 2013. So we have to calculate depreciation on machineries as well. So we need to allocate their year wise. Okay, so there comes the concept of days, 365 days, 366 days, and where to do. So what once happened was with me. So we were preparing the, again calculating the depreciation for one of the companies, and the template started giving wrong results, and we were like, what? Okay, so it was a practical scene, and I had to figure out like 2 hours to just go and spend my time on the messy nested if statements, and I just give up. And then, you know, what was the next command from my manager? Okay, let's find a new template this time. And I was like, okay, that's gonna do. So we did manual calculations again and again, and then we figured out there is a good way to do that with the max and min function. So I am not going for the if statement, because as I told you, I don't want to make your life messy as well. So at the end of the day, you will be saying, Aditya, what you have done, we could have simply copied it from a template as well. So instead, let me tell you the concept. Okay, so normally if you have seen that, let me delete this much part right now, then you will understand. So for just we are calculating for an year 2023-24. So in India, normally the year start from April. So I'm just going to type here April to 23, and I will tell you a trick. So what you can do is either you can drag here, okay, so that's one of the tricks as well. And if you are just going for more properly series, so what you can do is you can come here, just see here. Let me zoom it bit. So now when it comes as crosshair, this plus mark, then what you can do is you can right click here. Okay. and then you will see all these options. You need to drag for them. So that's one of the tricks with the mouse clicks. All right. So I am filling the months here, and then we will be doing the calculations. Okay. So before doing the calculations, let me tell you. Okay, let's not know anything about Excel. So how would you calculate it? Okay, just for this value, April year. Got it? So how would you start here? Right? Here we have started from January here. Okay, or let's start from this May here. So let's start from one by one, then we can figure it out our way. So what will happen is, in general, you will be saying, Aditya, just see here. April is in between 1st January 2023 to 31st January 2023. So how many days there should be? It should be 30 days. So how the 30 days will be calculated? It will be simply, because you will see here behind the scenes it is 1st April 2023. So what we can do here is year month, my end of the month, minus my first date plus 1. That's it. You can see that I have got 30 days here, right? So if I continue this pattern to here, you will see that I have got my results good. So I have to proportionate 30 days here, 31, and this way. But afterwards, you will see here, I am again getting 31. So it is kind of a not properly. So that's where people use, you can say that if this date is greater than this date, or something like this date is greater than this date, then give me zero and all this stuff. So instead, I will just tell you a simple logic how and what we can do here. So just let's pick up this date, okay? And let's say my current month is January, or let's just simply say 31st 3 2023 24. All right. So what we need to do here, just see, I have taken this date and I have taken my year end date. So now what I need to do here, I need to stop somewhere before this date. Okay. So if my date is 31st 12 2023, I need to get 31st 12 2023. That's the date when I need to stop. Okay, when stop allocating the expense. Or otherwise, if my date is greater than 31st 3 2024, let's pick up this way 2024. So when do I need to stop here? I need to stop on this date. I hope I am making a bit sense. So if when I comparing these two dates, let me do this way. So what date I need? I need this date. Okay. And when I am comparing these two dates, so what date I need to stop here? I need to stop here. Okay. So now you can see that Aditya, you are doing something similar only. What we need to do here, we need to get the minimum of these two dates. Got it? So that's the concept here. So what we need to simply do here, we need to get the minimum of these two dates, right? So if this date is, let me delete this much part. If this date is after my financial year is ending, then simply what I will get here, I will simply get 31st 3 2024. That's the financial year where that's the end of my financial reporting. Got it? And if I am going for 31st 3 2023, so what will happen is that's the final date where my contract is ending. Okay, so I need to simply figure it out. Is just simply when my either month is ending, or when you can say my contract is ending. So this was we were calculating for, you can say, for a financial year. But if we are restricting ourselves to a monthly, then what we can simply do here, I am going to mix up this calculation minimum of this date, right? Or my this date, that is my ending date. Great. So if I'm doing that, you will see here, just in a minute, just see. Okay, so we are getting a bit problems here. I will tell you the reason why we are getting, but you can see that we have got 0, and that's what I wanted. Let's not go more deeper right now. For January, I have got 0, and that's what I wanted. Now again, let's go to the further concept. So what will happen is, you can see now, Aditya, you have done something for the ending date. But what about the starting date? That would be my start date, right? So let's again jump to this concept again. Okay, 1 second. It should be 0. And let me make it to this way so that you can understand as well. So this is April, okay? And this is January. And let's say again, I am coming here 1/1/23. So now what need to be done? So if my year is starting on April, so which date I want is I want to start from April only. If my contract is starting before my year beginning of year, so that's the thing. And if my contract is ending, if my contract you can say is starting after my year is starting, got it? So what do I want is I want this is my started. Then you can see that the concept of max is coming here. So the moment I come here and do maximum, you can see that my year is starting on April. And so from there, I am going to allocate my expenses. And if I am just going for 1/1/2024, then you can see that, okay, this would be 25. Yeah. So you can see that it is coming to 25. Okay. 1st January 2025. So that's the concept here. So what I need to do here, this F4, right? So this is just the starting month. So what can I do here? I can just come here, maximum, and from maximum of my start date, right? So that's what I want. Now you can see that it won't make sense here. Let me freeze everything properly so that we can understand better. Just see here. Yeah, just see here. My date is starting from 15th May, right? So you can see that I am just calculating the 14 days here, 17 days here. Got it? So because my contract is starting from here, then I am not calculating here. The only problem right now here is that we are getting minuses here, right? Negative values here. So what we can do here simply, we can come here and just simply say maximum of, if my dates are in positive, great, I need the positive. If my dates are negative, then just I simply want the zero value. That's it. Now you can see that here we have solved the issue. Here we have solved the issue. We have just got only 17 days, right? So that's the main logic actually of the date calculation. Otherwise, many people get confused when they are allocating, they are writing that formula, okay, which date to take, which date to do. So this is the simple logic here. And now what can I do here? I'm just going for multiplying the expense here, right? And then simply dividing my duration of contract minus start date plus 1. Now you can see that we have got the calculations we wanted. Let me check it again. Yeah, so we are good to go. Now you can see that it is just in a few seconds you can actually do these calculations without going for so many templates and everything. And that will be much more reliable, I can see. That's the whole idea here. Okay, so good to go, right? So this is one of the ways you can say we used to do calculations in old age school. Now dynamic arrays is come. And if you have attended one of my sessions on unleashing power, you can say power of lambdas, right? So I have told you about spelling thing, what we now do in Excel. So now someone will ask Aditya, great, but we wanted something like way more flexible. Let me copy this formula here. All right. So Aditya, how can we do that, right? So first you will start doing the calculations for the month. So simply it is that we can use the date function here. And I am just right now hard coding the years right now, but yeah, you can even automate them and everything. And then how from where my month will start, it will start from April, right? So sequence, I have got 12 months, and from fourth month I am going to start and first date, right? and that's all just about formatting style. So not a problem here. We have got you can say that dynamic arrays here. Now what to do here? What to do for the dynamic portion for this one, right? So before going there, let me see, okay, if we can do a crazy thing with the OA robot. So let me see what we can do here. Okay, autofill down. Let's see. Okay, it hasn't done. So not a problem. I think because we have to give them any kind of proper dynamic arrays. But yeah, not a problem. So now the problem is that even when I told you about, there is a problem with the aggregation function. So let me tell you what I mean. So let's just go here, sequence of 5, and you will see that I have got this much. But the moment you use some function here, right? So what will happen is it will give you just one value. And let's not restrict that here as well. So what we can do here, 5 comma 5, right? So you will see that I am just getting a simple answer and the data is not, the result is not spilling. Got it? Because that's a limitation of, you can say not the limitation actually, that's the way aggregation functions work. So now what we can do actually, right? So there time as well, I told you about we can use these new, you can say lambda helper functions. So we can do something like this and then say sum when I wanted to calculate by column, right? So you can see that I've got totals on my this way spilling, and then what can I do here? I can do by row, and then I can do sum again here. So you can see that I've got everything. The calculation is spilling as well. But but problem again with Excel right now that they don't support nested arrays. That's a big hurdle right now when we are going for, you can say, making the arrays, you can say spelling the arrays two ways. So either you can spell the arrays this way or you can spell the arrays this way, but not both ways. Let me tell you what I mean. uh, you actually, this is not a best example, but let me see how can we do that, right? So let's say just simply by not by row, but yeah, by column, and then just see here lambda a by row. Okay, it won't actually give the results that way. So yeah, that's not a proper example. The only limitation you can understand is that I will give you this way, so that will be much more easier to understand. So sequence, you will expect, right? So let's say sequence of 5 I am doing. So now what I want to do here, I want to spill the arrays in this format. Okay, so simply putting 1 comma this way, right? So you can see that I am actually writing the formula one by one and I need to spill in this way, right? But the problem will come here. You will expect, okay, Aditya, we can use the map function or the raw function, by row function. So what we can do here, let's try with the map function, uh, lambda a comma sequence, right? Comma 5, this will be 1 comma e, right? You can see that I am getting a calc error, and the reason for this error is, one second, you can see that it is saying problem is of nested arrays. Got it? So that's the reason we actually cannot spill both ways. And when you will see here, this problem which we will see here is that this one is also spilling and we need to provide these arrays as well. So actually it either can spill this way or it can spill this way, but not both ways. Okay, so that's the limitation. I will tell you one of the thing here. You can see that, okay, this is one of the great functions of OA robot, and you can see that the moment I do auto fill down, I just love this way. Okay, one second, it should have worked. I don't know, one second, auto fill down. Okay, it didn't work. I don't know what went wrong. So earlier when Eric demonstrated me, he used some like a type function which actually spilled that way. I don't know what went wrong here. Not a problem. So you can see that now we need to figure it out a way to spill both ways. Okay. So what we can do here. So now you need to play with a trick here. Okay. So what you can do here, just let's delete this wall part and let's paste it here this way. Now let me tell you, make array function. So what can we do? Rows of these many and columns of my these many. Okay. And the function is something like this way, r comma c. R for rows and c for columns. Okay. And the moment I do r, you will see that I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10. Okay. And it is replicating everywhere. Got it? And the moment I do here c, you can see that now it is giving me the column here. So what will happen is this way. This is the column 1, the matrix way. 3, 4, and this is the row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay. So that's how it is going on here. So now what we can actually do here, we can use the function index here, right? This way, and then just see r. Okay. The moment I do that, you will see here I've got the end dates, and let me do the changes to dates. Now you can see that I've got December, December, December. So these are actually replicating here. Got it? So this wall one column is multiplying here, right? So we are spilling this way. So we can do something like this. And then if I'm going for the columns here, so what can I do here? I can come here and then just see C. Okay. The moment you see that, now it is replicating my month's names here. So that's the one thing we can actually use here. So what I'm going to do here, just see here. I have got fixed these many ranges, right? So earlier I have told you how many parameters are there. So parameters are something which you are going to change. Okay, which for which value will be changing one by one. So this is my parameter, this is my parameter. Again, these two are my parameters, and these are again the same thing. At the end of the day, amount is also a parameter, but yeah, not a problem because my main calculation which is going on here, one second, which is going on here is between these one, right? Because afterwards we can these are spelling in nature, so that's not a problem. The main problem is within these. So what we can do here, right? So we will do one by one step here. So let's now make it into complicated stuff. So simply what we are going to do here, just see. Okay, I'm going to copy this wall formula here, and I am going to, instead of doing that, let me open this Excel labs. That will be easier to understand. One second, right? I will pin it up, and then that's my where my formula is starting, right? Got it. Yeah. So now what do I want here? One second, I will be deleting this wall part because I won't need this much. And then, right. So now you can see that if I just do this calculation here, I will just get simply the same amount here, right? Uh, the 30 days. Why 30 days? Because I am 30 days because I'm just calculating the first month here. Okay, not others. So now what can I do here? I'm just going to change this one stuff. All right. So I am going to, that is my F4, right? So F4 is this much. So what I'm going to do here, index, then F4 here to grab this range because it is spilling, right? So I can do this, and then simply because this is in columnar format, then I just simply want the C. Okay. The moment I do that, just see here, something has changed. Okay. So things are changing now. So it is calculating now. You can say that it is calculating at least this much. Okay. Months. So now I can again come here and do this wall copy paste. And again, I can One second. I see a weird message here on my YouTube. Okay, so are you facing any problems? Please say in the chat because I see some kind of an error here. I don't know. It shouldn't have happened. So is the streaming going properly? You can tell me. Okay. All right. So let me continue here. Hoping everything is going smooth. And then what can I do here? You can see that I'm just going to one second. Okay, it got a problem, but yeah, I'm just going to paste the same value here. That's it. Yeah, I am getting actually an error here. I don't know why my network is coming good. Let me do something. Uh, one second. Okay, all right, got it. I don't know what is something wrong here. Let me see. Otherwise, I will change my internet. Okay, great. If ever anything happens, you can just message again in the chat, and I will change my internet connection then. I don't know. All right. So what we can do here, I just simply change this much part because earlier we need to now automate it this much, right? And again, I change this much part where we have done here. You can see that this F4 part and this again the F4 part because I need to make them automatic. Got it? So now that's the same thing I did done here, and now again I can do here to simply index. One second, selecting my ending, and then just simply say my R part, right? Now you can see that at least I am getting something good here. Got it? And now I again want to do simply one this thing, coming here, this much part. Okay, let me do this way so that it will at least give properly this way, right? So now I can come here again, index part, and then selecting my start range, right? And then simply going for the row part. Got it? That's simple. Now you can see that we have at least got the dates properly. So that's the same thing we need to do here. You're simply using the make array logic and then just fetching the dates properly here. So that's the only logic here because it will catch up one by one dates, right? And then what can I do here? Let me close this one properly. And then, yeah, and then I can simply do here, multiply my amount here, right? And then simply saying my end date minus my start date plus 1. Got it? So that's the simple way we can actually do here. And now you can see that. One second, I should have actually divided here, not multiplied. Right. Wow. Great. So now you can see that we have got the answer and it is spelling both ways, right? So the only logic was there simply to get the values one by one, and that's it. Not a big deal here. The make array function actually helps here. Got it? Aditya, this is good to go, right? Now you can enjoy your weekends as well. But I will tell you a reason why I don't use this function because I will tell you just one second. Control Shift AU, make array, let's say 1000, 1000 and R into C. And that's it. Now, okay, this is going way crazy. It is working fast. Now you can see that the problem with this function is that it will start deteriorating your calculations. You will say that Aditya, we won't be working in these many calculations. The problem with this function is that it is something like Power Query projections. So what will happen is the moment I say go and fetch the value from index, So for every single item here, got it? So what is happening here is that for every single item, it is going there, going to the range, and then simply fetching the value. I will tell you one of the videos which let me. I think I have to search there where Chandu has actually calculated a lot of stuff there. One second, let me see. Yeah, right. And let me go for VLOOKUP here or index. One second. Let me see if I can find it or otherwise. hmm One second then. Let me directly do this one. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know why. Yeah, which is faster? Okay, index match and XLOOKUP. The problem with that is that actually here he has explained more about why index and match is slower. The only thing I can tell you right now is that earlier I was also like shocked when index and match was going slow. The reason being is that actually whenever it happens, index function this one array. So what will happen is it will go back to back, okay, back to back to the range and fetch the values, go back again, fetch the values. So this process will be continuing for these many rows, okay. You can see that these many rows and like very very big here. Got it? So that's a problem with index and match, the index function and make array function. So how can we actually do? Got it? So how can we actually do and minimize this calculation in our day-to-day life? So what can we do? So this is one of the tricks I am going to share you right now. This is one of the tricks actually I learned from Mike Girvin. You can say one of the again legends actually. I will say more properly Godfather because from him I have learned a lot. So what we can now do here? You can see that. Let me again copy paste this formula at least. Got it? Now what we can actually do here, you will see something interesting. If and a function, and I am just going for this much part and this much part, and that's it. Wow, something bizarre happened. Okay, one second. Number formatting, will it test? Wait a second, I will do short date. Right. So something bizarre has happened, right? So you can see that this date is same to one second. Yeah, this date. Okay. And you can see that it is multiplying again and again here. Got it? So that's the simple trick. You can say that. So what happens is that it will actually not work in, you can say, Google Sheets. I have tried it earlier, but yeah, in Excel it works. So what behind the scene Excel is doing, I have no clue. But it is doing something weird. I will tell you one more trick which I recently learned here. So you can see that if I'm just doing sequence, uh, if function sequence of one, and then you will see Aditya, and let's simply say 10 here. You will see it is not multiplying here. Okay, it is just giving me simple range because it is obvious because one is will be treated as two. But the moment I wrap it in an array, you will find something interesting. It will multiply here. Got it? So I don't know how behind the scenes Excel is calculating these things, but yeah, this is the trick we can actually use with the if and a function. So we can actually use this way. By if and a, I have tried here. I have multiplied these many values again and again, right? So what will I do here? I will delete this much part and then we'll say simply the start date, right? So these are the start dates. Yeah. And then what can we simply do here with the end dates as well? Uh, if NA, again going with the same trick, Eric will kill me today because I'm using this way. Let's go this way only, and then the variables will take care anyways, right? So I am calculated the start dates, I've calculated the end dates, and they are multiplying by column by column. And now what I simply want to do here, I want to multiply these values again, okay, to rows. So what can I do here? I will say simply the period, and then you can simply say that, okay, start date, period date. Okay, and then simply going for if any. Earlier I was selecting this range earlier first, and then this range. And now what will I do here? I will simply select this range first and this range first. Okay, so go with any of the dates, and it will be all right. Got it? So now you can see that I've got everything. So these dates are replicating. Now here comes the main thing. I've told you arrays don't work, okay? So they don't spill both ways. But one of the great function is map function. So what map function does is it will go one by one element. So by row, it will work on a row wise. Okay. So it will work row wise loop. Got it? By column, it will go column by column loop. So first it will calculate this much part, this much part, this much part. It will calculate this much part. But map function, it will go one by one cell. Okay, so that's the best part about the map function, and it is like very much optimized function compared to the make array function. Got it? So what I have to simply do now, I'm going for the calculation and then simply selecting the map function here, first range. Because why I had to do that? Okay, so let's discuss that part as well, because otherwise you won't understand why I've done that. So let's see if I'm just going for selecting this much part, and this part. So what will happen is lambda a comma b comma c, and let's go with the a part. You will see that I am just getting this much part only a, and other than that I am getting errors. The reason being is that map function always wants the data in similar size, because it will be iterating it cell by cell, right? So the moment it sees, okay, so this one, and this one is common, good, I am going to calculate it. Other than that, it is just not going to calculate. Okay, so that's the problem with the map function there. So that's why I had to multiply these values to make these wall arrays equal. Okay, so you can see that the size of all of them is equal. So that's the thing. So now what can I do here? Simply the map, and then again the array. I have selected everything. All I can do now is start, my end date, and my period dates, and then simply going to write my function. So now I know, okay, so year month, my period is starting here, then my end date here, got it, then minus my minimum date of my you can say I will start with the period only first, and then the start date plus 1 comma 0, and that's it, right? One second, I think I made a mistake somewhere down the line. Period start date, let me see where I made. Wait, can anyone tell me as well where I've gone so much wrong there? Period end date. So my second date is end date. So we are good to go. One second. Let me beautify the formula, and let me open this one. Yeah, maximum of minimum of period and date. Yeah, it should have worked. Let me see. I am not going to time here. Instead, I will just simply come here again and see. Nothing should have gone wrong here actually. Your month of my period, then my E5 is my end date. Then again, you can say that it will be my period, and then simply again, it will be my start date. right? And then I'm just going to delete this part. Okay, now it is working well. Maybe I have somewhere messed up my way. I don't know. Let me see here. Right now, minimum PD. Just see. Wow. I don't know what went wrong there, but both of them looks way more similar. Okay, I typed the max here. I typed the minimum here value. Got it. So that's my mistake. Yeah. So now you can see that in a just of a blink of second, you can actually do this calculation. And now all you need to simply do here, this wall calculation part. And then we will also make our custom lambda function as well. So now I'm just going to multiply my amount and then simply going for end date minus my this date and plus 1. Not plus 1 here, but plus 1 here, right? So you can see that I've got my answer, and that is now very much easier to replicate because map function is way more faster compared to make array function, right? So make array will do the too much leverage task. Instead, I just simply spilled it first. So now all we can do here, we can make custom lambda function here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to save lambda and then just simply saying what I need to do here. This is my amount, this is my start date, end date, and I have to make it a parameter as well, right? So this will be my period dates, period date, great. And then this is my start date, end date, period, result. Got it, not a problem. And I'm just going to write it as allocation of, that's it. Just see here. Now once a custom lambda is made, no need to worry now. So you can actually do so many things here. Right, I see many of you might have left, but yeah, I told you as well. Got it. So that was for now within Excel. But I told you guys and promised you I will give you a bonus as well and will tell you something like very bizarre, which is like way more progressive in Google spreadsheets compared to Excel. Okay, I am a team Excel, but somewhere you got to admit, okay, sometimes Google Sheets work way better compared to Excel. So this is done for, I will just open a sheet right now so that because there I won't have the formulas properly. So I will be formatting the formulas here. So now let me go to my Google Sheets as well. So Google Sheets simply we can do here. Yeah, final trick, sir. That's the trick. So it's not an actual trick, but an admit to that ki yeah, Google Sheets are way better in a way compared to Excel. So what we can do here, you can see that sequence. Again, the same formula here. So date part 2023, then month part will be 1 comma 4, not 12 comma 4, and then just simply starting from first, right? And now it won't work this way. The problem with Google Sheets is that it asks for a weird function that is Excel array formula. So I need to come here and Control Shift Enter, and you will see that a function will come here array formula. The moment I press here, now it will spill. Okay, so that's one of the weird formulas which you can say that is in Google Sheets. And now what we can do here, I will admit the see here. I told you right where Excel is breaking in terms of nested arrays. Google Sheets actually helps in a way. It is not properly nested arrays. You can see uh, it completely doesn't eliminate the problems of nested arrays. But yeah, in a way, it actually does a way better job. So I will tell you just simply just see here. Well, you can see that I have got 12 months here, and then what just can simply I do here, just see by row, or you can just simply say map function. And I'm going for the sequence of, 1 second, I have to write the lambda, right? Lambda A. sequence of 1 comma a, right? You can see that it is spilling. It is not giving me any error here, right? It is not giving me any error kind of thing. Okay, so that's the thing which you can say that which is way, way better compared to Excel. So that's the thing I wanted to show. How can we do so much easier in Google Sheets compared to Excel? The problem which I always face in Google Sheets is that it actually, you can say that writing of formulas is a bit clumsy when it comes to Google Sheets. Anyways, I will try here my best. So what can we do here? Map function, my first array, my last array, and now just see here. I have to, yeah, there you see Google Sheet don't actually support, you can say hash, does it? It doesn't support. So you need to select everything. But yeah, they do support, you can say that the trim range kind of functionality. So we can also automate that. Let's go. Just see here. Now it is not even moving properly. So that's the reason I actually don't like working with Google Sheets. Wow. I think I need to start from scratch again. Map. I selected this much part and then just say the lambda. Okay, one second. I cannot actually select this much part here. Got it? I will tell you the reason being. So because if I just do this way, let's just see. Okay, now it won't work properly. Wow, right? So the moment you see that A, comma B, comma C, and just see here. The best thing about I like about Google Sheets is that they actually give you proper uh, uh, error kind of thing. Now you will see that I have got a red error, right? The moment I click on the red error, one second, I will enter, and now you will just see that they are saying array arguments to map are of different size. Instead of just simply saying the NA part, they will just say you, okay, give me the proper arrays. So that's the reason I actually cannot provide the dates part here. So instead, what I will be doing here, I will just start here lambda, start date, my end date, and then what we can do here, I will again use a map function here. Got it? To spill these many calculations as well. So I'm going to use again the map function and then just simply selecting everything. And then I am going to write the lambda again, and that will be my, you can say, my period dates. Got it? Now all I have to do is simply doing the calculations. So again, the maximum, I will start with the zero this time and then simply saying maximum your month, my period, comma start, and that will be my end date minus. Now I will be very much certain I need to use the minimum function. Once again, here it will be the minimum actually. Yeah, and here it will be maximum. Then here simply my period start date and my start date, and that's it, plus one. Just see here, I am going to close everything. Just see again one more benefit. It is hiding this much part. So one way you can say it is way more easier, but sometimes it just doesn't work properly. Now you can see that it is spilled everywhere, right? So instead of doing so many if and everything kind of calculations, you can see that Google Sheets actually helps me in this format at least. Now all I can simply do here, this much calculation part, my not this much, my amount, right? And then going to divide with the end date minus start date plus one. Got it? And then we can just do, yeah, one second. Let's see. Now it won't work, right? You will see that Aditya, okay, you earlier spilled the formulas, now they are not working. Actually, the problem is that we need to write the array formula. So control shift enter and just see here we have written array formula, and all we need to do here simply enter, and that's it. Now everything is automated. So in Google Sheet it works a bit differently, but yeah, so that's the thing, and there is no actually a proper for way, you can say that, to format the formula here. So I'm just going to use my Excel, that Excel Labs feature, and now you can see that it is way more easier compared to Excel. But yeah, everything aside, things get clumsy here in Google Sheets as well. That's the reason. But yeah, this was just the bonus part to just share more about, okay, Google Sheets have got this functionality which is a bit better compared to Excel. So that's what I liked about it. All right. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat right now, or otherwise we will call it off a weekday working day, and enjoy the weekends. Yeah, right. No questions, guys. At least I hope so. This time many people were there, so I hope so. Someone might got curious about, and someone might have got confused and everything. So yeah. So these are some of the ways which I now normally use in my day-to-day life to do the calculations of, you can say, allocation of expenses, or you can say that properly proportionating income. Great, then. I hope there is no questions. All right, guys, enjoy. If you have any questions later on, you can even have a, no, Power Query won't be that much easier. Yeah, Ankur, you can find the workbooks in the comments, in the description. I've already provided the link there, so you can always see the links of this session and previous sessions as well. Okay, unless I am you can say that, unless I am solving Excel BI challenges. Great. Power Query actually isn't so simpler compared to, you can say, Excel, because there will be the problem of, you can say that, the columns and everything. So it is kind of a bit tricky. But yeah, because normally I will be doing financial modeling here in Excel, so I didn't do that. Anyways, great, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments as well. And I hope you will we will be back again with some of the more financial topic. Great then. Till then, bye bye and enjoy. Great.